Okay, everyone, welcome to the Wealth Creation Show. And today we're going to talk about the power of association. Now, the power of association is such an important thing. And you know, if I could think back a good few years back, it was nothing that I really thought about in this way that we're going to discuss it today. Do you know, about the company you keep? And I mean, it kind of goes back to, do you know, I remember when like you're younger and your mum and that would say, you know, you fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. And you know, expressions like that resonate with a lot of people. And it is really about the company that you keep and how much time you spend with individual people and certain groups of people and how they play such an important role in who or what you actually become in your lifetime.
There's a lot
And that,
to it.
yeah, and that could be your friends, it could be just acquaintances, it could be a family member, it could be your family in general, it could be your work colleagues. Do you know, it could be just those people that you, do you know, see on a daily basis and you pass on your walk and things and have a chat with, and how they influence you, even if it's just for a short periods of time each day or if it's for longer periods of time throughout your life. They do have quite a profound effect on you as an individual and how you actually um
I don't
how you
think I
actually,
don't think people realise that actually how important that is. The
yeah.
power of association. But you're right.
Mhm.
It's you don't. We all got told that probably when we were younger by our parents. Don't go with that person; it'll rub off on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that all the time. My mum used to say that every single time, and I used to get in with some of the baddest crowds, and I would always get in trouble. So there's no surprise that that was the case. It was just the power of association. But likewise, if you flip that and you hang about with successful people, ideally people that are far better than you, this is where it takes a real good, I think the word is humility that
Yeah.
we're looking for here. A lot of people call it humble, to be humble in front of other people. And it's difficult for people that are leaders because, and they're reds in terms of personality profile, they're actually quite
Yeah.
strong, they're forthright, and they're determined and they're efficient. It's difficult for them to hang about with people more successful than them because they like to be the biggest fish in the pond.
Hmm.
And it's the climb down you have to take. Now, I'm going to mention it again and talk about Richard Branson, but he said a profound thing last year, and he says you can tell a lot by a person of their interaction in sports with other people.
Okay.
Now, it just so happens at that time he'd actually asked if I wanted to be involved in the tennis tournament, and I went, "No, you're all right, Richard,
No.
because I really can't play tennis. I know, but I know
Yeah.
that's daft. I can't play tennis, and I thought, well, there's no point in me playing if I can't win. There's no point in that. What I failed to realise out of that statement once I came away and thought to myself, yeah, you can tell a lot about people by their interaction because their non-interaction tells you everything. They're a lone wolf
Yeah.
and they're possibly not a team player. And that makes a profound difference. But that's the power of association, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
fact that then realise. So I'm going to take part in everything this time.
I was just going to say, because then, do you know, it does say a lot, because then usually you would think, right, okay, well, even though
You want to
maybe
give a
you're not,
pickleball?
yeah,
Absolutely.
even though
What,
you're
come
maybe
out the
not that
bikes?
great at
Absolutely.
something,
You want to
you're
go on
going
the
to
hobbies?
try. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So you should push yourself and just try things anyway, whether you think you're good at it or not. Because if it comes apart when you're doing it, oh, I'm not that good, but then you might pick up things, and then or whoever you're playing with might be like, right, I'll show you how to do this the right way, and you know, and it's because you put yourself out there rather than not putting yourself at all, and then just thinking no.
Henry Ford, and I think it's Thomas Edison had a great relationship.
Hmm.
And the fact that they both inspired each other because they were of the same time, I believe. And Henry Ford and Edison were two people who tried, different numerous times to invent something. Obviously Henry Ford's a car, Model T Ford, and Edison's the light bulb or the incandescent light bulb, I think it was. But that's splitting hairs there when we come to that. So, but they two hung about. But the reason that they hung about was because the power of association.
Hmm.
Now you see that today with certain people, they hang about together. You see it with celebrities. Quite a lot of them hang about together. A real good classic example of that just now is Musk and Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Trump's no daft. He knows that Musk got a platform that he could actually be exploited on. And he could get to big audiences, large audiences at any point in time. Yeah, Trump and Rogan. So Rogan's got the biggest podcast. So Trump and Rogan. Dana Barrett is in charge of the WBC or whatever it is, the fighting, the kickboxing. So it's something like that. Somebody will correct me on it. Definitely, there's always somebody will correct you on it. I suppose, but that's another powerful association. So, and you tend to get like the people you associate with. There's no surprise, and I'll give you another power of association, which is a negative connotation. P. Diddy and the people he hangs around with, and the people that's hung around him.
That's a fly with the crows, shot with the crows thing.
Yeah, that's like aye. There's a lot of people running for the hills, definitely, and it's when you look at the relationship with J-Lo and whatever his name was, it was married to her, now they're separated.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, you kind of Ben Affleck. You kind of think, oh, I wonder if that was because of Justin Bieber, but that's another story. That'll soon come out in the wash. But that's the power of association as well, and a negative aspect. So you can see the real downside of the power of association. You can see the real upside of the power of association. So you just need to get about other people more successful than you. And this is the whole thing about, if you think you could think a lot of yourself, you could think you're more than everybody else, but all you are is probably just a bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Mm-hmm.
That's it when it comes down to it. You're just a bigger fish in a smaller pond. There's nothing that gives you any competitive advantage or any unique advantage unless you step up. There's no point otherwise. It's that step up. It will add significant value. Your value is really determined by how much value you can add in other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you so important. So if you can add value in that person's life and other people's life, then that's where you're going to grow yourself, and you're going to be successful in your own right as a result of it. Because I often used to say this for everybody at work to us, and I still do now and again. It's like, if you make yourself indispensable, you're always going to be here.
Yeah.
Because you'll always be needed regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're indispensable for that reason. You're unique. You do something that no one else can do. And that's the object of the exercise when you go to collaborate with someone. Make it so you're indispensable to them. Yeah. So they need you, definitely.
Create something where your presence would leave such a big void or such a hard space to fill. And it's about presence, I suppose, as well.
Well, we talked about the things like, between the teacher and the hedge fund manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a teacher's actually more academically qualified than a hedge fund manager, more than likely. But the hedge fund manager actually returns possibly 40% every single annum for the people they deal with. So that's why they get paid a lot more, because they add more value to that person's life than what actually the teacher does. You could argue, intangibly that, an education's so important and all the rest of it. But is it? Jackie Stewart, dyslexic, no-go grades, Formula One. Richard Branson, dyslexic, no formal education really. Virgin, Alan Sugar, barrel boy, selling stuff, coat hangers from the back of the van when he started out, then on Amstrad computers, then, building a team round about him. Trump as well. It's like, I saw somebody the other day, having a go at him and saying to someone, but he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that, and he's been a bankrupt. He says, but have you been a billionaire lately?
Yeah, I know. One thing
I said to the other person, have you been a billionaire lately? And they went, no. And everybody just burst out laughing. It's like, so there's got to be an inherent quality in the fact that guy knows how to be a billionaire, and the formula for it. And this is this person. It's not really achieved anything in retrospect to that, and in comparison to that. And they're the ones slagging them off.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's true what you say about people in business, and then we'll not get political or anything, but then I was speaking to a landlord recently about that, and we were speaking about the recent budget and things, and he had made the comment like, well, we're talking about the local authorities and how, the people that are in there, they're maybe well educated, but they don't have any experience, and it's like even the front bench on the government, they're all sitting there, they're all academics, none of them have business experience, and
very little of them have any commercial acumen about them at all. But they don't know what they don't know. That's the key. They actually, because they come from a position of power, they've always kind of had that. They get into the use of having that because remember they're the power of association again. They're all in their own wee clique, so they all convince each other how important they are to society. And then that's how they come out with all these things, and they go on television and they're adamant that that is the right answer to it, and everybody else is going flipping heck, really take the winter fuel allowance off all the old people. You ever thought about that? Oh, but somebody with £1 million shouldn't get it. Yeah, but the cost to actually then remove that from them is probably more than actually trying to take it away from them. Than actually taking it away from them. The cost to actually remove it is more. You know what I mean? It's like if you can put it across everybody and it's just in a winner and everybody gets it, it still goes back into the economy and it's fine. But then you start to try and pick out individuals and find out and have somebody do a job to bring all this out and recharge it and remove it. It's like that could end up being a lot more than actually what you're trying to remove in the first place.
Yeah. So just leave it as it was.
That's why successive previous governments before that, not successive, but previous governments before that, have always just done it universally. These sort of things, because they've realised that it costs an absolute fortune to try and change it just for a few individuals. It might actually not be entitled to more than actually what it's entitled to. But you wouldn't expect the government to get that because of their academic background. They don't understand the commercial reality of the situation and the fact that it's maybe grinding, it's maybe grating for everybody, but the reality is the cost to remove it is a lot more than probably the cost of actually giving it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know it has been in the past when it's come up in these sort of things, and that's what we need to do. So it's that sort of thing. It gives you the power of association. So we all know groups of people like that, but your opportunity is to train and be around people more successful than you. Golfers do it all the time. I remember my pal Alan used to say all the time, he says, I love going out with people better than me because it ups my game.
It makes you play better.
Yeah, of course. And when you run, I run and I swim a lot faster in triathlons when I'm with other people than when I'm on my own. And I think, whoa, that was weird because I'm usually 20 minutes. I'm not really particularly bored about the swim. 20 minutes to do 750 meters in the pool. Yeah. And the next minute I popped out and I was like 17 when I jumped out the pool. And I thought, how on earth was that? Because I didn't feel I was faster than anybody, but it was because I was with everybody else and they were going faster as well. So I naturally went as fast as
momentum.
Never even noticed it. So it was all these things like influenced my attitude, my behavior, my habits, and all the rest that came with it. This is why when you join a club as well, you join an investors club, you maybe join a athletics club, a running club, a triathlon club, a mountaineering club, a diving club, and you've got everybody else in there, and you all become associated, and then you all go out for dives, runs, triathlons, cycles, all the rest, mountain climbing, and then you get better and better and better at it because other people pull you towards that goal just by associating with you.
Yeah.
Because they go, I want to climb Mount Everest, and you go, okay. Whereas you would never come up with that idea yourself. You just go, I'll go along. Somebody says to me, Sharka said to me, it's like, do you want to do Mount Blanc next year? And I went, all right then. No, I would never have done Mount Blanc unless you mentioned it. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'll do Mount Blanc if you want. When are you doing it? And it's like, we've agreed a date and we're doing it. But I would never have done it myself off my own back. So it's that association that you get. It's the same way. It's the same with a state agency. Simon Whale texts me and says, you want to come down to this or come down to that, and this is going on. This is a real estate network, a relocation network in December. Now I can't get it because I'm just back, and it's like the jet lag will be the jet lag will be unbelievable. So the difficulty of that is I'll not be fit for that. So it says on this occasion, thanks very much, but I'm going to have to pass because I don't think I'll be in a fit state and to actually do anything about that at that point in time because of jet lag. So just getting into Scotland and then having to run down to London on another flight, and it's all that stuff. So I've learned out of that. It's like, well, wait a minute, Jim. In a former life, I would have gone, yes, absolutely. Now it's like, just become the tortoise for a change. Just take it easy. This is a slow burner. This isn't like 100 miles an hour now. This is just build it organically. Keep going in the same direction. Keep being relentless. Keep being consistent. These are the sort of things that you want to do, and you associate with the right people as a result of it. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. What's really interesting for me, and as I researched this topic and looked at it, that the actual power of association and how it really does have that influence and impact. And you know, we've done a lot of shows on the Wealth Creation Show, and the topics that we've discussed are things that are really influenced by the power of association, and things like your health and your habits, and you know, your well-being and your performance, and ultimately your success, and how much it's actually recognized that, you know, the power of association is such a big part and vital role of shaping your overall kind of trajectory and your future. And it really is important, you know, and it's the whole thing, you know, if you're associating with really successful people and in the field that you are interested in, then ultimately you will pick up from them and implement that. Whereas if you're associating with people that have nothing to do and are really in a negative point, you're going to go in the completely opposite direction, and it's going to hold you back so much. And a lot of people just don't understand that, and that's what the power of association is, especially if you're trying to be successful and ultimately build wealth and you know, and have your own goals. Then align with the right people to help you achieve those goals. Don't have the wrong associates.
Yeah, and that's why we touched on this thing about networks. You know, about building a strong network and being part of a network as well as other people and in a similar field. I just did a talk to a group of young people at Leavenmouth Academy, and literally, God, I had you know, this is weird because I had a talk and I thought there must be prefects, and I got out the, you know, the red, blue, and yellow and green chart and all the things and all that. Walked in the door and there were primary 6. It was a cluster. It was a cluster coming up from the different schools in order to, you know, just a day to get used to each other before they actually hit high school next year. It was that cluster, and I went, oh my God, I'm going to have to tone this down and make it, you know, dumb it down a bit, because that's they have no idea what I'm talking about here.
Rather than setting their behavioural profile as such.
But that's kind of another network sort of thing, isn't it? It's the schools beginning to network with each other, to get used to each other, to be able to work together in collaboration, and that's what building strong networks actually does for you. It also gives you a foot up, because there's definitely probably there's other people in that network just probably more successful than what you are. Now, I'll be honest. You've seen in the past that I've tried to get part of networks, but then I end up finding out that I'm probably the most successful person in the room, and that's quite difficult. Because what will I add to it? I'll just keep teaching everybody, and is there any added value to what I'm doing, what I'm getting out of it, other than actually just telling everybody what to do? It's quite difficult for me to find actually a peer group which will actually align with me, especially in property and property investment. Because you tend to find a lot of these, there's no that many, is there? We know that by percentage wise, and especially in Scotland and England, because we know the stats. So they're few and far between. They're like unicorns, and or they're like eagles, and everybody knows eagles don't fly in flocks, and they don't band together. They tend to be lone wolves. Getting a lot of metaphors out there now, eh?
But it's true that, especially with like property investment and things, and I've seen you go along and attend things, just think, oh, maybe I could pick some up for that, and people are like, why are you here? And it's like, well, I thought I could pick something up.
Even property trainers, not property investment, but just estate agency trainers, sometimes when I turn up to their trainings, are like at half time, they're like, what are you here for? And they feel a bit intimidated. Because they know me, and I'm like, but I'm here to see if there's anything I could pick up, you know, or anything I could learn from you. Even the style that you deliver your presentation in, because you're obviously more successful than me than presenting. So maybe that's something. Maybe it's something I'm going to learn from. There's no doubt about that. You can learn from people's style and how they present just as well as learning from them, and maybe something you know already. But you never know what they're going to add to you, add value to you, in terms of where you are, because they're maybe not as far on in whatever it is you're trying to be good at. Now, my recommendation is in order to build a strong network, I think you should seek out the most successful people in the field that you want to be in, or you're in right now, to meet you, to pull you up, even if it's following them on social media, and at some point and comment on their posts and stuff like that. At some point, they'll actually communicate with you, and they might reach out to you, and they might run something, or they might do something, and they might give you advice, or you might get some of their time. You'd be amazed at how many really successful people, if you just ask them, you got like half an hour for a coffee sometime. I'd love to take you for a coffee sometime. You got half an hour. I could pick your brains about something. And a lot of these people actually are lone people, because very few people actually approach them, because they're very intimidated by them, because of what they represent and what they've achieved. And they put them up on pedestal in their mind as a result of that. So they become very intimidated by them. So they never ever ask them about that. So if you ask them, a lot of these people actually turn around and say, yeah, that's fine. When you want to do that, happy to do that. Now, I tend to do, you want to do a Zoom? Or what is it about? Oh, it's about lettings. It's like, well, to be honest, for what you're telling me, Richard's the best person to speak to. Yeah, if you're wanting to know exact statistics for an area, or the exact rent levels for an area, or what a property would rent for, it's definitely you, Richard. And that tends to be the field I'm in. Whereas if it comes to I don't know, if it comes to management styles, it comes to learning how to, dare I say, think like a billionaire. It's getting around these sort of people. Now, I don't necessarily mean getting around them. That might not be possible at all. But it's reading their books. It's listening to their podcasts. It's watching them on other podcasts.
Yeah.
It's the things you could learn of them. I hate to say it, but you could learn a huge amount of Trump. It's like, my God.
From a business aspect, you can.
Either he's got a marketing genius working for him, or he's a total fluke.
Yeah,
it's the very fact that it's like, he's of the time at this point in time. It just so happens people want what he's got, and he's done it so much over the years. It's just now he's coming to fashion.
Yeah,
because that's what that does as well. It's just you're hanging around long enough.
I was just going to say, it's the thing where somebody hangs around long enough, yeah.
Well, what do I say? Every dog always has their day. Yeah. And even though you've had your day, it'll come back around again.
As long as you hang around long enough.
Trends will change, times will change. It'll come full circle again. You'll be back in fashion. Look at classic examples like Madness, the bands. Look at Chic, disco sucks in the 70s. This guy got disco banned, Bee Gees were out of fashion and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, a resurgence, maybe about 10 years back, it's like Chic's now in fashion. Everybody's like, everybody's like dancing to Chic as soon as it comes on, or the young crew. Everybody's, who knows who Madness is. Everybody knows who the Bee Gees were. And it's like, oh my God, you were never born at that time. See what I mean, though? They never knew who they were, but when they did, that was then of its time now again. And that was it coming full circle. So I always believe it's like bell-bottom trousers will come back in fashion at some point in time.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I keep them in the cupboard.
They've already started to creep in.
I know. I think Harry Styles was wearing them or something.
yeah. And that's the thing, and it's like it just takes for somebody in a position like that to kind of put something out there, and
out of association.
Yeah, and then it creates a trend.
Influencers.
Yeah, I think as well. You made a good point there, where it's like, although like you seek out these people and there's a lot of guidance and advice and things to learn from them, they're also a good point to they could create valuable connections for you and also put you on to other people who will help you, or probably even progress you further than what they can, because they've maybe got more successful peers than what they are, and then you could help, and then you move up that ladder in your own right. Because
no doubt about that. A recent example. Somebody came on and says, has anybody had an experience of Paul Smith, the property trainer, his courses on Touchstone? And in my opinion, and that, of just the little knowledge I know, says, I don't know much about it, but I know about the background. I've checked out his company accounts, and by the impression he gives you, it's not really reflected in his company accounts. So unless he owns everything personally, or he's got it offshore somewhere, I kind of think it doesn't match what he's saying. That was only my opinion on that, and other people weren't very complimentary about the service as well. But then he came on and said, in that respect, then, has anybody got any experience of any people in commercial property who they would recommend for commercial? And straight away, every man and their dog was on and saying Jerry Alexander.
Yeah, Jerry, yeah.
And I would endorse Jerry as well, because Jerry's a really good guy. Now, I've met Jerry a couple of times. I don't know much about his courses, but I know there's never a bad word to say about Jerry. Everybody thinks his courses are really good. They have good content and add value to what they're doing. So I've no doubt about endorsing Jerry as an option. So it just shows you how one person's like that and one person, and yet this is just the same person, and it's exactly the same network
Yeah.
that he's asking on with the same people. So that's why it's important to do that. And then these sort of things then will open these, like I think you've said in here about opening these doors to the opportunities.
Yeah.
These are the things that open the door. Now, who was it that said? Stallone. 95% of your success is just turning up.
Yeah. To just to turn up and be there, yeah.
And you don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. But if you just turn up every single time, at some point it'll probably happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because people start to notice you. You start to talk to them as well. They'd start to find out what you're doing. And then when they need you, they then end up speaking to you because you're the one that turns up all the time. You
Yeah, it's like,
become
kind of like a natural
reliable.
progression. Yeah, a natural progression because of your presence. And like you say, always turning up. And yeah, opening doors to opportunities and things. And I mean, there's a world of opportunities that maybe remain kind of inaccessible unless you were actually putting yourself out there, turning up, and putting yourself in these kind of networks and things, and surrounding yourself with these people that are,
What,
ambitious and driven individuals.
what doors have been opened for opportunities? Deep Sea World at Queensferry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
North Queensferry. Yeah, Deep Sea World. So
Yeah.
Deep Sea World was, the guy was walking past and he overheard one person talking to other person about they wanted to build a deep sea world in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And the person walking past, have no idea who these people were, overheard them and turned around and said, I've got the exact site for you. North Queensferry, just
Mm-hmm.
below the Forth Rail Bridge.
Bridge, yeah.
Honestly. And that was just a chance. Just a chance for that person walking past. That was the story. And that was the story I got told at a business seminar one time at a business network meeting. And these are the things that are just there if you need them. This is why when we talked about opportunity and the point of readiness and the preparation that you do for the opportunity to appear and you prepare for it, and that is the point of readiness when somebody's ready to go. So the opportunity and preparation meet.
Like when things align, yeah.
And you'll never get there unless you start first. I don't think people realize that. A lot of people just don't realize. You'll never get there. I'll say it again. You will not get there unless you start.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fall into your lap. You don't become an overnight success as a singer. Everybody started somewhere and actually just kept going. And it's only the people that don't become successful try to put off the people that might want to become successful because it never worked for them, and it's only because they gave up.
Yeah.
That was it. So my answer to that is the only way you could lose is give up.
Yeah, and you hear this from a lot of successful people, and especially like celebrities and movie stars and singers and things, and they talk about their journey and how they become to where they were in whatever role they're playing, and it's made them really successful. And they're like, God, I was turned down time and time again. I just never gave up and just kept going, and that's always the story. And because the people that aren't in that position is because they gave up.
Well, look at Keanu Reeves and his sidekick in Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
They two were actually talent spotted in a queue at McDonald's. They were just
Right.
messing about, the two of them. And the person that was doing the casting for Bill and Ted actually oversaw them and actually saw them and went, how do you guys want to come for the casting for Bill and Ted for a film that we're thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
And because you guys seem to work well together, and and
Listen,
that was the end of it. And my point is,
Yeah.
look where it led him.
Yeah.
It's like, my God, if he hadn't been there doing that at that point in time and putting himself in the limelight and putting himself forward and just doing all these different things, it wasn't by accident, by the way. He was a trained actor, and he was there for a reason, to get a job and to get an acting job in Hollywood. So he was going for casting and all the time with everything. But this is he just right place, right time.
Right place,
But
right time,
people say
yeah.
right place, right time. But is it not more prepared
Yeah, because if
in
he
the
if
right
he
place
was,
at the right time.
yeah, if he wasn't already prepared as an actor and had those skills, even though he was there at that time, that point in time with that right person, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have aligned properly because he didn't have the right skill. But he was able to demonstrate and was demonstrating that he had that skill. So yeah,
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 so
there's a lot of elements
he
in that.
probably put out that energy in the room at that point in time as well, and
Yeah,
it's that energy that gets people excited. That's why people want to list their property with you. That's why people want to let their property with you, because you put a positive aura. It's attractive to them, and they think, yeah, this is the person that could do this for me. You know, they look like, they sound like, they look like, and they feel. Most importantly, feel like the right person. It should be doing this for me.
it's
That's
funny
how
you
you.
should say that. Do you know the last and just recently, and two people have said it to me, and I picked up on it the first time, and then somebody said it to me again the week after, and they're like, "Oh, I like your energy," and I'm like, "All right," and then it was like, and then somebody said, "I like it," and I was like, "I really like your energy," and I was like, I must just come across that way when I talk about lettings and obviously my job because it's
Yeah,
just the way I talk about it, but I didn't realize I'm doing it,
I
and
get.
I must
I
have
used to
give a
get
good
it
energy.
quite a lot in the past when I had white witches. So you would come
Right.
along to people who are white witches and used to say, "You've got a huge aura around about you.
Uh-huh.
You know, really positive aura about you." And I was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." And they say, I could just see it." And it's like, "What?" It's like, should I be phoning the white van man or something? It's like,
Yeah,
but it's genuine. Some people just have that empathetic. You know,
yeah,
they're empathetic to things, and they could actually feel the way you are and your positive energy you put out as a result of it, and that's how it comes along as that positive aura, that's what opens the doors to other opportunities because it resonates in their mind and they remember as a result of it, and so you get out, you get back what you put out. I would say, and bucket loads. If
yeah.
you keep putting out, at some point in time, it'll come back all the time. This is you know, let's be honest, Richard. Let's break this down to typical sales one-on-one.
Hmm.
No, 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 no. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Great. I'll get you signed up. No, no, no. Yes. Great. You signed up. Yes. Signed up. Yeah. Oh, signed up. Signed up. Because you get better at it because you know you're honing
Repetition.
and
Yeah.
developing your skill every single time. So as you do more and more of it, you get better at it, and it's like a fine-tuned instrument on a professional singer.
Hmm.
You know, let's be honest. Ed Sheeran, when he first started singing, it stunk.
Hmm.
And even he says that. And he even plays it on, you know, he takes it well on his phone and says, "This is what I sounded like when I first started."
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it? Even he goes, "Oh, geez." But now, totally different story. So it's that sort of thing about honing and developing your talent and your skill that will make a fundamental difference to how you put out that positive energy and how people will interact with you and what doors will open to you in that opportunity.
Yeah. Opportunities are everywhere. You just need to have the right people around you and have the right attitude and have the right skill set as well. So yeah, and it's like you could really engage with all these people and nurture these connections and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the skill set and things to then lead on with that, then that's going to be an issue as well. And that brings us on to obviously continually learning and growing and what you do and in your field that you're obviously your field of expertise as such. Um,
Mm.
so and the
Become a
power of
student.
yeah, become
Become a
a student alive.
student.
Student alive,
Become a
yeah.
student all the time. You need to learn. I think it fell on deaf ears at the primary six pupils, but I basically said to them, you know, I took a lot of my books,
Yeah.
all the books that I used, you know, the Virgin Way, Power of Positive Thinking, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, all the different things. And I said, just like you learn from your maths teacher and you have a book about maths in order to pass maths, you learn from somebody more successful. And then your
Yeah.
English teacher, you have books on English. Then you also have your English teacher, which knows a lot more about English than you do, and you learn from them as well. You become a student after that, and you continue to learn from the books you read. Now, I did say to them, and I admitted, I says, when I left school, I didn't want to see another book ever again. But then somebody said, if you read this book, it will make you really successful, even more successful in what you want to do. And I thought, give me the book.
Hmm.
Because then I thought about everything that could give me, the success, thinking about, you know, what could that give me? What could that continuous learning and continuous growth give me as a result? What could I get as a result? Where would it take me? What people would I end up meeting? for that reason. I would never have met any of the people really I've met on my journey, or even any near all these people that I've met that have been highly successful in their own careers and trained with a lot of these people as well, if I hadn't done what I'd done and honed and developed my skills and continually learned and grew. And that's the process you've got to go through every single time. You do get to a point where, though, I think some people plateau and think they've made it.
Mm-hmm.
But they forgot there's another mountain to climb at the back of it. There's another summit. You know, just as you're going up any hill, you get to that bit and you think, oh God, there's another one to climb when you're up there.
But then you mentioned about obviously career and things as well, and how successful people could be in their career. But then that continual learning and being a student of life, obviously not just for maybe career advancement, but do you know how much that could develop you as a person and your personal growth and your development as you as an individual? I think because if you get that right, it will make you ultimately then more successful in every other aspect of your life, because you're like your mindset, your physical, do you know, all these types of things as well.
I used to debate. I wouldn't say argue. I used to debate every single time.
Yeah.
That by learning, well, look at it this way: athletes that are successful, Olympic athletes, tend to excel in a job that they work in as well. And yet the job has nothing to do with them being an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's because they've got the same attitude and the same mindset they do to be the successful athlete in their job. I think that is what comes with the continuous learning. This is why, you know, I do triathlon, the swim, bike, run, because I feel that it gives me that insight into I don't think it's competitive against other people. I think it's just competitive against myself, and also making sure that I keep, is the word push yourself? I'm not really sure if it's push. I think it's more move towards being better the next day. Just be better the next day. Better tomorrow. Better tomorrow. Better tomorrow. Just be better tomorrow than you were today. That's all you need to do. Just a wee incremental improvement.
That direction.
Yeah, strive to be just that wee bit better tomorrow than you were today. And when you get 5 years down the line and you're doing that every single day, it's like you look back and think, oh my God, how have I come so far?
Yeah.
And yet you've only been doing these wee changes every single day, and it's nothing momentous.
Implementing these small habits.
Just habits. I'm going to do squats every day. I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to walk. For people that have just starting out, I'm just going to walk a couple of kilometers a day. I'm going to walk 10 minutes. I'm going to walk 15. I'm going to struggle. I tell you what, I'm going to change. I'm going to have one of my meals at a different time, and I'm going to have a different type of meal that's going to be healthier for me. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm no bothered about the rest. You know, stuff my face with hot dogs and hamburgers and popcorn and all the rest of it outside of that. But this one meal, I'm going to change in that day, and I'm going to have a healthy meal every single day. And then a year later, you then go, okay, there's an incentive now because you maybe met somebody. Tell you what, I'll put another meal as a healthy option as well. So your one meal that's healthy is now part of your continuous all the time. And then the next one gets replaced with another healthy meal, another healthy option. And that, for me, is a progression towards that success everybody strives. Now, I'll guarantee you everybody strives success in some shape or form in whatever they're doing. I could take anybody and they want to be successful at whatever it is they're doing, whether they're singing, whether they're dancing, whether they're, I don't know, whether they're drinking. What would be the best drinker? I don't, you know, whether they're talking, whether they're debating, whether they're boxing, whether
everybody wants to be the best at whatever they're involved in. Yeah,
of course they do. Everybody wants it, but who's prepared to pay the price for it?
Yeah,
everybody's in the line to get it, but nobody's in the line to pay the price for it. And that's probably one of the most important things I've ever learned.
Yeah,
is you're just going to have to pay a price. Now, we don't know what your price will be individually, because your price to my price will be completely different. And yet we're both after the same goal, because you've not trodden the path I've trodden, and I've not trodden the path you've trodden to get where you are right now. And this is why we talked about the old adage about what got you here won't get you there, or you'd be there already. And it's that continuous learning and growth. It lets you understand that quite clearly. Because years and years ago, I would have, if somebody had said all this we're talking about now, I'd gone, "What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is that gibberish? What got you here won't get you there. What's that got to do with anything?" But you have an understanding. You begin to have clarity of thought. You begin to, dare I say, you begin to go in the zone. You know, because you get better and better at it, and you become more focused on it. Like about getting better and better, and you end up being in the zone. This is why I've said to you this a couple of times, haven't you? It's like, oh my God, I'm on a roll. It's like everybody I walk into wants to list their property with me. It's like they're just, where'd that sign? Where'd that sign? Where'd that sign? And then all of a sudden you do something, and then you start to fall out of the zone. And I've said that to you before as well. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm falling out of the zone for some reason. I don't know why, but it must be something I'm doing, or a habit I'm creating, or I must be going somewhere, or there must be something happening outside. I maybe got a cold, or maybe just not on point, maybe not saying something right. I've just got into a habit of saying something else, if that makes sense. And then you fall out the zone. But then if you keep being reflective, and you keep focusing on, you keep focusing on improving,
right. And
it'll come back to you again.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that, because actually recently, and what I've noticed, and dealing with clients and investors and things, and it's like, for some reason, it's not even that people are signing up with me. They're like, "Here's the keys, here you go," and just handing everything over.
Aye.
And I was on the phone to the team, and I'm like, that's the second person in the last week that's just been like, "Here's the keys when I go to meet them," and just give them, and then just let me get on with it.
Yeah,
and I think
I've had 3 people just contact me and says, "I'm ready to go."
Yeah,
what?
So it's like, so I was thinking to myself, right, so what have I been doing that these people are, like, just so entrusting, and like, here you go, just get on with it. And I need to keep that in mind, because that's what obviously that's what's appealing to them. That's what's resonating.
I think it's a lot to do with, because you add significant value to their life, or there's a perception that you're going to add value to what they do. It's that fund manager thing versus the teacher. The teacher's far more knowledgeable and experienced and expertise in their field as a teacher in mathematics, for example, but they ain't a fund manager making an absolute 40% return every single year for their clients. They're not head of a bank which makes 2 billion every quarter, as opposed to the Prime Minister, which costs 2 billion every day in debt that they rack up. That's the sort of, see, these are the sort of things that people value. People value things like that. And that's what that continuous learning and growth means to you. And that falls in with the power of association and everything else in the mix as a result of that. And it ensures that you actually remain competitive in your industry.
Yeah, definitely. And that was some good examples for you and I, how that actually, that association and that confidence in the person that you're dealing with, because of how they obviously come across, and how you're associating with them. But also, and then to talk about, obviously, having or building a positive reputation, and this is a lot to do with the people that you're associated with as well. Because, and again, it's the fly with the crows, shot with the crows thing. If you are associating with people that maybe haven't got the best affiliation, then you're going to get tarred with the same brush. There's another saying. I've got a few of them in today.
Yeah, I always believe there's different styles of estate agents in our industry.
Oh yeah,
certainly, and certainly in all different estate agents that work with us, and people that work in other estate agents themselves. But I think we attract a certain type of an estate agent and letting agent, and a certain type of person that actually wants to work with us because of what we do.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we're probably very community led. We'll not shy from getting involved in the community, from helping out the community. A classic example is the Santa brunch with the Ireland Alliance Trust. So I reached out to them again this year, and I says, why do we not have one again for the people the children that can't afford it? Their mums and dads really just can't afford it, and it's not their fault. It's like, but they don't have access to meeting Santa, to having that experience, and maybe we should just do that for them again. And then I've reached out to the Railway Heritage Preservation for the train journey with Santa.
Yeah.
And the referrals will probably come through the food bank. We're working on that, believe me, with food bank. I'm in touch with them just now. And then we've reached out to another association to do a similar thing again, through another method like that. And for me personally, I think that's the type of people we should attract. And if we don't attract that type of person and we accidentally take that person into our company, it's not like that and doesn't think like that, they don't last very long.
No. No, and it's all these kind of associations that you just run through there with the local community and things as well, from our perspective. Do you know what? Disney not just influences like our future opportunities and things, but it shapes that professional, do you know, reputation and how people view you as an agent and as a business person and things as well. And that just shows the importance of really aligning with these.
I think that's the word I was going to use. Align.
Yeah. Yeah.
You align with other people, and customers align with you. So this is why I don't want everybody's property to sell, because I can help most people, but I can't help cheap. And we certainly don't attract cheap by what we do and how we do it, because we don't come across looking like cheap. Although we're a really good price point in comparison to what everybody else could do for the same as what we're charging for what we're doing. We blow people's out the water with that, definitely, in terms of that proposition. It just depends on that. If someone sees that as the right product and service for them, I would say that's probably the most important thing. If it's the right product and service for them, great ideas, great products. This reminds me and I'll cover it now, about Steve Jobs. He talked about great ideas and great products. I mean, there's a trend of craftsmanship actually between a great idea and a great product. And it evolves and grows and never comes out like it actually starts from the idea to the product, does it?
No.
And that's really always because there's a trade-off, because you can't always have the things that you wanted in the first place, due probably to technology and costs. You know, somebody, I need it like that. And it's like, well, can't it? Because there's no way you're going to have to do it like this. And it's going to cost an absolute fortune to manufacture it like this. So there's no way you're going to be able to sell the product to that sort of price point, for that reason. And that then is literally building a jigsaw with all the concepts and getting them all to fit together and to get to what you want in the first place. And it's that process that actually is the magic overall. But it's also that process that comes across right with the right people and aligns with them, because they get an insight into how you do it and what you do, and they love that as a result. So you become an attraction agent, not well, please sell with me, please sell with me. It's like, I don't think I've ever said to anybody on any video, please come and sell us.
No.
Please, we'll give you this and we'll do free evaluations for you. And it's like, oh my God, I am not like other people. I don't want to be like another agent. And it's not because I don't like that. It's because that's not what I'm offering.
Yeah, I think as well as not only demonstrating, expertise and things as well, it's to get people to resonate with you and to demonstrate kind of your integrity and your values, and people that then align with the same. And that's where that match comes up. And I think that's a good marry-up point for
values. Yeah, definitely align with the values then, because that establishes trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Overall, and these connections are significantly impacting your professional brand and also your future prospects with them, and also with an extended network. See that we're talking about networks again for them now. What surprised me the other day was Dundee, for example. We were on, I don't know what page it was. It might have been one of the investor networks, and someone came on and says, "Could anybody recommend a letting agent for Dundee?" Now, let's be honest, most people I know in that Dundee area will recommend knows that we've expanded into Dundee, and we're probably the bestest letting agents out of anybody. And for that, because we've had numerous customer service awards for that reason. And our landlords tell us that. It's no us just saying that. It's no, oh, we're great and we're brilliant. It's like, oh my God, everybody can say that. So what makes you great and brilliant? Who's telling you that? Well, the customers tell us that.
Yeah.
About a 99% approval rating from the customers over about 200 and odd votes. in the esters and recommendations and 5 stars and all the rest of it. And I think that's what tells us it. But really what surprised me was people I knew and actually knew me and knew I was better actually endorsed other people. Why would that be?
Great. Yeah, why is that? Because that is quite surprising.
Because I wasn't the one in their mind at that time. I'm not the one that's occupying their space. Because the other person actually goes to a lot of the network meetings and meets these people all the time. See what I mean about the power of association?
Yeah.
And the networking and all the rest of it. Your success will be directly related to the network that you have and the number of people you speak to.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. It definitely is the power of association.
You stay relevant in people's mind and their thought process.
Of course you do. Why do you think I wear a gold jacket? It's not for the hell of it. It's like, because people remember it's that guy with the gold jacket.
Yeah.
And it's not a negative thing. It's just to occupy a bit of space in their mind. It's like, guy with the gold jacket. He's on a stage.
Yeah.
What's his name again? See how that works?
Yeah.
Guy with the gold jacket. He's on a stage. And what's his name again? Not him, but some people it is him. It's Jim Parker. So, Jim Parker will be great for that. He'll be the one, I would say. So it's that networking opportunities. It's what we talked about before, and the nurturing. And you've got it written down here. The most important thing is nurturing authentic relationships.
Yeah.
So why am I talking about authentic relationships? Because people soon find out if you're disingenuous about something. If you're not truthful, or if you're not,
your heart's not in it.
but if you're not what you're saying. So in other words, it doesn't match. What you do shout so loudly, I can't hear what you say. So in other words, if you're doing nothing but you're telling everybody you're knocking out the park all the time, it's like, there's a mismatch there straight away. It's like the Furus, isn't it? It's like the immediate thing that I do when they jump off about how successful they are in the property investment business. I then immediately run into their websites and I find out their limited company, I find out them as a director, and then I check all the other companies that they're a director of and check all their accounts, work out their net worth and go, you've not got a pot to piss in. And yet you're making out as if you're like flying high and you're making an absolute fortune, and yet you're not.
Yes, it's all about smoke and mirror and things a lot of the time with them.
It is to a degree, yeah. I would say it is to a degree, definitely, because they're just trying to attract you, but they're not actually being truthful about it. So they probably never do nurture these authentic relationships, but they've got enough people that they can burn through that. Because these people are 10 a penny. All they're doing is maybe to a room of 20 people, £1,000 a time. There's 20 grand a shot for a day, or even 2 days.
Yeah.
So you do 20 people, you've got £1,000 for 2 days at a speciality workshop. And I've seen that done where they're good at that. So they're getting a 20 grand turnover for 2 days work. Admittedly, they've got costs for the hotel, for food and that, because they'll probably do that as well. For people that maybe take part in it as well, although they might just get people that they know they do favours for as well. And it's cross-pollination between themselves as their network and their net worth. Yeah. Your network determines your net worth, doesn't it? So that's what happens about eventually you get found out and you burn through and they get away with it because they only need a few amount of people, and there's always somebody, I hate to say it, there's always somebody that's a sucker one day.
Yeah.
They just get sucked in. They feel that they're watching everybody else, and everybody else seems to be successful because they're all singing the same song. It's like the Pied Piper, isn't it? They all sing the same song and dance to the same tune as the person that they're actually learning from. And then that person sees them and knows them and gets influenced by them. And as a result, it's the power of association, and they get sucked into it.
Yeah.
And they do it as well. And then they realize that they become indoctrinated in the whole system. If you do this and you do your 30-day guarantee and stuff like that. Oh, you're going to do something for 30 days for 30 days. It's like, oh my God, I've seen this all before. This is mental. But they don't know any different, and I'm not the one to tell them that. This is probably a dishonest system.
It's not going to work out the way you're.
Who am I to burst their bubble? And that's what I was told in the very beginning when I first started. It says, you know, I used to go, well, how many people are successful? How many people aren't successful? And my mentors used to say to me, Jim, the only important thing is, are you going to be successful? That is it. It doesn't matter about anybody else, because anybody else's results are not your results. And you're the only one that can determine how successful you are. And they're the only people that can determine how they are. So because they're not successful, it doesn't mean to say you can't be successful. So you shouldn't be letting that influence you. And hence the reason why I don't go on and put people off that I know, because I thought, well, if it happens for them, I didn't want to steal their dream.
Yeah, you need to let somebody carve their own path, basically, in that aspect.
Yeah, difficult, definitely. I think we've talked about this quite a bit. So do you want to wrap up and give me a conclusion about this then, about what your thoughts are, and then I'll give you a wee one-liner from me, and then that'll be us done.
Yeah, I think obviously the power of association, I mean, we've demonstrated quite well through our talk today that it really shouldn't be underestimated. I think that it's a really powerful thing. I mean, the connections that you cultivate and nurture throughout your career and your journey, they could really define your future success. And I think surrounding yourself with those individuals who do inspire you and challenge you and support you as well, that's a big thing as well. I mean, don't surround yourself with people that will pull you back down. You need people to, and the whole rising tide lifts all ships and things as well. So it's important that you really embrace opportunities for growth and learning and collaboration that come from these positive associations that you have. And it could all be achieved by really actively engaging in networking with those like-minded professionals, or people that have the same values, and position yourself for the future with them and with both fulfilling and successful people, so that you could take charge of your associations, your own associations, and let them shape your own path and ultimately achieving what your dreams are and your goals.
Yeah, I think for me, I could say, hand on my heart, that no matter what I've been to and what networking I've done and what people have associated, what people have been involved with, there's always been something I've learned out of it, whether it's been positive or negative. And that's helped me get to where I am just now. So, I don't think there's any right or wrong. I think it's just how you interpret the experience and use it to your ability to move on.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think whether something's maybe not that positive, you could always flip it around and use it to your advantage and look for the opportunity and everything, I think.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be where I am if my boss at Tillis Russell hadn't bullied me out the door.
Yeah, and at
Thank
the
God
time,
for that.
At the time you would never have thought that, but now you look back, you think, God, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Our rents wouldn't be as high if it wasn't for Patrick Harvey introducing rent controls.
Yeah,
There's another negative and turned into a positive, because he taught us all to increase our rents every year. So I can't say that was a negative experience, I suppose. What it seemed in the beginning was, but it's not now. So again, these are all things that shape you and mold you over a period of time. And I think you'll learn more from your negative and from your failure experiences, your negative experiences and your failures, than you will of your successes. It's easy to succeed, and you don't really learn anything from succeeding. You just succeed, and you go, yeah, it's great, let's succeed more. But it doesn't really teach you anything. But the failure does. It teaches you what you shouldn't be doing, and then it more or less points in the direction of what you should really be doing. You just have to make sure that your failures don't become a casualty. It doesn't make you a casualty, and you're able to come back from your failure. I think that's fundamentally key. And it's the people you associate with and the power of association, which will carry you forward over that period of time, whatever that period of time is you want it to be. For me personally, it's probably just life as it stands.
Yeah, life, as you say, and the people that are in it and around you at the time. So yeah, the power of association, quite a powerful thing. I hope we've covered that quite well for everybody that's watching. Thanks for jumping in the comments. If you're watching the rerun, you can indeed jump into the comments and we will come back to you. Or you can come to us direct. But in the meantime, we will be back at the usual time on Monday for the Wealth Creation Show at 12:30. And we'll see you then.
Okay, bye-bye for now.